Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today we have a video on our hands that is kind of the polar opposite of a recent upload I made, which is what if every hermit who's played an MCC before was in MCC? Yes, I don't know how I'm going to title this video exactly, but there is a chance it's slightly clickbaity, not on purpose, it's just the best way to title it. I will only be including every hermit that has played MCC before, but there's a little surprise, so when I start revealing the teams, you might be like, ooh! So yeah, you'll see, okay? Anyways, if you're not aware, recently I made a video titled, What if MCC had no Hermitcraft players, which was a modern day play on a video I made 2 years ago, which was titled, What if MCC had no Dream SMP players? The reason for this, by the way, was at the time 2 years ago, Dream SMP was the most dominant type of player in the event, and nowadays Hermitcraft is the most dominant type of player in the event in terms of popularity and what the audience cares about the most, right? So that's why I made this video again. I analyzed, the kickoff roster, the first roster of MCC Season 4, took out all the hermits, showed you what it looked like, then grabbed every single hermit who's played before. So if you're not aware of which hermits have played MCC before, it's the ones in this top tier over here. If you don't recognize the profile pictures, don't worry. There will be teams coming in a little bit that where I will explain every single person on the team. So I analyzed this, then looked at who else could be in, then these are the players that were remaining, some basic rules, blah, 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 whatever, right? The whole premise is try to make a kickoff equivalent roster while without the hermits, try to make it as popular as you can while being realistic. The video is a little complex and maybe a little bit hard to understand for some people who aren't too much into team making and like the analysis of MCC. So this time around, this one is really simple. I just made a kickoff roster again, tried to, and even better, I made the MCC kickoff roster players, the pool of players to grab from, just smacked the extra hermits in there because there was already 10, just so it's like only like 6 more or something like that, and then tried to make the teams from scratch. Also do want to mention that this person over here made kind of the same idea. However, if you watch my streams, you'll know, when writing this idea down in my ideas folder, I wrote down both no hermits and both all hermits. So there you go. Anyways, this person here made a set of teams that includes every single hermit, which would be what? Pearl, False, X, Cleo, Grian, Scar, Gem, Etho, Joel, Cub, Ren, Jevin, B-Dubs, Tango, and then Impulse and Skiz. I feel like there's maybe someone missing, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, on to the teams that I made, which are right here. We're going to do them revelation style, one by one. If you're wondering why Kuriwa is up here, initially I put him in because I, for some reason, thought he was in kickoff, but no, he was not. So, anyways, off the bat, you might notice this is kind of like odd in terms of maybe team pairings and maybe some skill level pairings that you're like, interesting. I tried to keep it a little bit lower comp because I feel like if every hermit is playing, the comp would be a bit lower. Not because the hermits are like bad, but more so like it's just more enjoyable in that type of environment for all the hermits to be in, because that includes people like B-Dubs and Tango, who have previously exclaimed that like they're not the biggest fans of like the high comp side of things. So yeah, first off, Shadoon, Ant Venom, Cubfan, and Jevin. I don't really need to explain, I guess, the thought process behind why people are on the team, but I'll mention it this way. From all the S tiers, I think one of the few ones that is going to have the hardest time at being family-friendly is Shadoon, and I'm pretty sure that Cub is like not a family-friendly, or is okay with non-family-friendly stuff as a hermit. And then I feel like Jevin might be cool with it too from what I've seen from Jevin, but I could be totally wrong. And I just put Ant Venom there because OG Minecraft guy fits pretty well. So that's that. Furthermore, we have Orange. One thing I also tried to do here is that I tried to put at least one Hermit on every team because, you know, making a team with no Hermits in a all-Hermit roster is a little bit off, in my opinion. So there's definitely a lot of pairings of Hermits that would work way better than what I've done. Again, also, I do not watch Hermitcraft. I just know people a little bit, so I might, yeah, I know, vibe-wise be able to match people together decently well, but there's definitely going to be pairings that I miss, or maybe pairings that don't work as well. So let me know if there's any pairings that you think are bad or good on accident, you know? This is Fruit, Scott, Gumi, and Scar. Scar seems like one of the Hermits who is much more easy to have a solo on a team, and I think that this is just a nice vibe. Definitely a little different, like Gumi and Scar is not a very straightforward duo. I do think Scar has teamed with at least Scott before, and maybe also Fruit, but I could be wrong. And yeah, this would be cool. Oh yeah, also a reminder again, I already said this, but you might be like, oh, but Shelby would work way better here than Gumi, as an example, right? I'm only using the remaining players from Kickoff to make these teams, because that makes it harder. You know, that's the fun challenge of it. It's slightly different, because it's only the people that were in MCC Season 4 Kickoff, which is also why Kuriwa is not there, because he would have fit really well at what I initially was planning for the Cup Fan team. Next up, kind of following the trend from before, is another Golden Gals equivalent type of team. This team I think is actually kind of strong, because it doesn't really have like a bottom frag. It just has like Hannah, who is like one of the weaker but still really good like top frag. Beck, who I feel like is very much like could swap between second and third frag, and then Gem and Pearl I think are on average going to be third frag on pretty much any team. Besides maybe like a few examples or exceptions, sorry. But very fun team, all women team, good, and we continue. Lime, if I recall correctly, Ren and Cleo, like a long time ago this was, they were talking about like, oh, if we play again in MCC, we should play together, or I'll play if you play with me, or something like that, so that's why they're on the same team. Jojo feels like a really safe top player to put there, and I think Owen is also a really good person to slot on that team. Furthermore, we have the green team. I'm fairly sure that Pete has yet to team with Impulse or Skiz, and that duo just works really well. I could be very much wrong, by the way, but I'm fairly sure that they have not teamed before, because that was something where people were like, why has this never happened before? So Pete with Imp and Skiz, big thumbs up for me. Ollie, fun little chaotic fella to put on that team. I think that would be very cool, very nice. Then furthermore, this is where things get interesting. I decided, you know what? This is more interesting if we add newcomers, because hypothetically speaking, if this is supposed to be MCC Season 5 kickoff, there's a chance there would be newcomers, and I might as well just add Hermits as newcomers. Yeah, Hypnotized is the person I picked here, because, by the team being Dave Kratzy, H-Bomb, Hypnotized, and Tango. Hypnotized I picked because I feel like, if I remember correctly, their name was brought up a lot more as like potential to play in MCC because of Decked Out 2, I think. And Tango obviously is the person behind Decked Out 2, so I feel like that's a fun pairing. I put them with H because H I think also played Decked Out 2 when they invited guests. I could be very wrong. And then Dave was a higher skill player that I wanted to include on a team, and I feel like here is a good inclusion without making the team OP, because obviously H-Bomb potentially second fragging is quite strong, but I feel like with Dave that could be pretty okay. Furthermore, on Aqua, we have a team that might not feel like it should be on Aqua, but I just put it on Aqua because why not? Shane, Critic Zeus, Etho, and B-Dubs. I wanted to include B-Dubs again, but I wanted to make sure that he was with someone that I full confidence could guarantee he'd want to be on a team with, or more so feel comfortable being on a team with. I think him and Shane worked really well in the first time they played. Obviously, they had a really good first event experience, both of them, but I also just think vibe-wise that works really well. Etho is another person who I think is important to put with someone who he vibes well with, and I feel like Shane is another example where that worked really well, so that's a fun trio. Also gives both Etho and B-Dubs another Hermit that they have not teamed with before, that I think they would work well with. And Zeus was a one of the, like, you know, second track potential players that I had remaining that I feel like actually works pretty decently well here. More specifically, I feel like Shane, Zeus, and Etho could work really well. I think B-Dub slots in pretty nicely there as well. Furthermore, on the blue team, this one is definitely the more interesting one because in this instance, the Hermit player on the team isn't either the third or fourth frag, it is actually the top frag, being Joel, together with Callum CPK, False, and Kara. I feel like this is just a classic MCC player team that should work pretty well together. I feel like many of these people have teamed with each other before, maybe not everybody, but some of them definitely have. So, oh, oops. Definitely have teamed with each other before, so I think it should work well. Obviously, you already saw the two other teams, but I'll just do it still this format. Purple team. Izuma is definitely someone where I'm not entirely sure what type of vibe they would be cool with. I just tried to play it like semi-safe and put them with... Well, I should have put them with another Hermit to play it more safe, but I feel like putting them with Jimmy and Sparkles is probably safe because I feel like they would have at least been in somewhat close proximity with each other in past collaborations or other SMPs environments or whatever. And I feel like Ant is also just a very good top player to pair up with this squad. I feel like it works pretty well. I think it's a good combination of people. Also, again, as per usual, I tried to make things balanced, but I probably didn't make them balanced. Sorry, I guess. Keep in mind this is fully hypothetical, doesn't really matter, but yeah, I tried roughly, and this is the result. And then finally, for the pink team, you have the insane final team to be revealed to wrap things up. Feinberg with Grian is like a no-brainer as like a really hype combination, and then put them with Doc as a newcomer as well would be really cool. And then I looked at the list of players remaining from kickoff, and I feel like Smant could work pretty well here. He only knows Fine. He'll know of Grian, of course, because Grian is Grian. You know, these are the remaining players. There probably are other people that could have fit here. You know, Fwip, I feel like, is an example of someone who could have slotted nicely onto this team. But I think, you know, for just the sake of making the super turbo hype pink team, put Small Ant on a team with Grian and it'll work. And also, Smant is super capable of being family friendly, so that helps a lot as well. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this roster and this hypothetical concept of having every past Hermitcraft MCC player play in the same event together, with maybe the addition of a few newcomers, being Hypnotized, Doc, and I'm sure there's others that you could think of that may be possible to have in as well. One thing I do want to mention is doing an all Hermits MCC is definitely something that is an idea I could do. I think I've done it in the past already, so maybe you could check out a past video. I don't remember if I did it. I probably did. I know there's some Hermits who I don't think are interested in playing MCC. I don't know who specifically those people are. Maybe Hypnotized could be one of them. I have absolutely no clue. I know Doc is interested, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that as well. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.